Hello, welcome to McDowell's Strategy and Tactics, and thank you to our subscribers. In this series, we play through each of the battles in the American Grant Campaign in Close Combat 4, the Battle of the Bulge. We use historical World War II US Army doctrine to plan and conduct each battle. We start on the strategic map. It is 1600 hours on December 19, 1944, and the weather is overcast. Air support and artillery have been allocated, and there are no supply drops. In the last episode, the US 10th Armoured Division fought the German Kampfgruppe Falloy of the Lehr Division at Longville. The battle was a total American victory, and the German battle group was forced to disband. The next battle is at Wiltz, between the US 110th Regimental Combat Team of 28th Division and the German Kampfgruppe Hansen from the 1st Panzer Division. Commander, Wiltz contains a large number of buildings which will provide excellent cover for both attacker and defender. Expect the Germans to initially focus on seizing Chateau de Wiltz. In this terrain, you should be able to overcome any disadvantage in armour strength. Watch for isolated panzers. It is vital that you hold this position. On the US side is an American infantry battle group from the 110th Infantry Regiment under command of Captain Seeley. It moves slowly and reserves are down to half strength. The company consists of 3 platoons. 1st and 2nd platoon are infantry, and 3rd platoon is a support platoon with 2 anti-tank guns and a mortar. The original squads retain their names and statistics. The battle group has been reinforced and brought up to full strength following its losses this morning. Let's rename the new squads off camera. Now, let's review each of the squads. 3-1 is 3rd Platoon Headquarters. 1-1 is 1st Platoon Headquarters. 2-1 is 2nd Platoon Headquarters. 1-2 is a BAR squad. 2-2 is also a BAR squad. 2-3 is a rifle squad. 3-5 is a recon team. 3-2 is a 57mm anti-tank gun. 3-3 is also a 57mm anti-tank gun. 2-5 is a Browning 30 caliber medium machine gun. 3-4 is a 60mm light mortar. 1-4 is an M9 bazooka team. 2-4 is also an M9 bazooka team. 1-3 is a rifle squad. And 1-5 is a Browning 30 caliber medium machine gun. Next, let's look at the map and conduct a commander's estimate of the situation. Our mission is to defend Wiltz in order to set the conditions for a counterattack. Wiltz is a large town at the foot of the Chateau de Wiltz. The chateau is built on a hill overlooking the Wiltz River to the north that winds its way from west to east, fed by a small creek to the southeast. The eastern approaches to the chateau are wooded slopes, and the chateau dominates the road into Wiltz. The town itself consists of numerous winding streets with close-packed multi-storey buildings either side. In the north is a railroad running east-west to the railroad station. To the south, on the Grand Rue, a large warehouse building stores agricultural produce from the surrounding farmlands. This is what Wiltz looks like today. This is complex terrain because observation in most parts of the town is much less than weapon ranges. Most action will be fought at close range. However, the chateau has commanding views of the surrounds, as does the 2-storey building to the northeast. The briefing told us that Wiltz contains a large number of buildings which will provide excellent cover for both attacker and defender. The wooded slopes to the east also provide concealment. The whole town is an obstacle to movement, as the streets canalize vehicle movement along predictable lines and the buildings overlook the streets. It is a defender's dream and an attacker's nightmare. The chateau, with its commanding views and thick walls, is the obvious key terrain. Approaches to Wiltz from the east are either the narrow road between the river and the chateau in the north, or the wooded slopes to the south. We have fought over the eastern approach to Wiltz a number of times now, so we have a good idea of the options open to the enemy based on what we have seen them do over multiple battles. Kampfgruppe Hansen is likely to send us a panzer company, with tanks, half-tracks and supporting infantry. The briefing warns us to expect the Germans to initially focus on seizing Chateau de Wiltz. Once again, this is reasonable given that American possession of the chateau prevents vehicle movement along the road into Wiltz. The infantry assault on the chateau could be supported by vehicles along the road. The killing zone would remain the eastern half of the chateau and adjacent roadway. Alternatively, the Germans could move around to the south and try to infiltrate Wiltz rather than conduct a direct assault. In previous battles, the Germans have dedicated tanks and infantry to this avenue of approach. The Germans could move infantry squads up the wooded slopes close to the buildings, and then rush the buildings to overwhelm defenders. The infantry could be supported by tanks on the slopes. The killing zone would remain the open ground along and adjacent to the Grand Rue. We will continue to meet the German attack head-on, but with further modifications due to lessons learned from previous battles. First Platoon will block advances through the chateau, bringing flanking fires on German infantry with the medium machine gun squad and BAR squad. Once again, the buildings are likely to be the scene of vicious close combat. Third Platoon will remain dispersed. The recon team will remain in the two-storey building to the north to provide observation into the German rear area. And 3rd Platoon headquarters in the mortar will remain close to the chateau to provide a situational reserve if required. An anti-tank gun to the north will cover the road north around the chateau. This position has been effective in previous battles. 2nd Platoon will cover the southern approach. Drawing on lessons from earlier battles, they have fallen back to lure the Germans forward into an anti-tank ambush. Importantly, they will remain rearwards from buildings on the edge of town. The 2nd anti-tank gun in 2nd Platoon's position will cover the road east and the open ground south. The 2 infantry sections and medium machine gun will guard the anti-tank positions, with 2nd Platoon headquarters at the base of the defensive position. Both bazooka squads will be prepared to undertake aggressive action to hunt panzers. I have made my decision and have placed the platoons and squads in position. And so we begin. A strong German push in the north.
Barrage available!
Artillery barrage available. perfect for infantry in the open. To the south, infantry closing on the chateau. The medium machine gun opens up. The mortar opens a fire mission. Squad eliminated. German infantry are caught in a crossfire and under an artillery barrage. Sonderkraftfahrzeug 251 by 1 heavy machine gun half-track destroyed. The attack in the north defeated. German infantry now approach the chateau from the south, with 2 Panzer IV south of them. First Platoon's BAR squad displaces to support the centre of the chateau position.
Incoming!
Second Platoon's medium machine gun opens up. A third Panzer IV. Out of anti-tank gun range for now. Third Platoon headquarters opens up on infantry in the open. First Platoon's bazooka moves up. The mortar drops smoke to blind the German tanks.
Panzers!
Nielsen from 3rd Platoon Headquarters is killed. The squad withdraws.
Team redeployed!
The Panzer leader has pulled back to the east.
In position!
And 1st Platoon's bazooka moves up. Firing at the chateau has died down after an intense firefight with casualties on both sides.
Move completed! Team redeployed!
Second Platoon now starts to displace north to prepare a counterattack on the southern flank. The infantry will clear the two-storey building for the bazooka teams to move up and deal with the panzers.
Nailed them!
3-3 destroys the Panzer IV.
Enemy spotted!
First Platoon is clearing the Chateau of Jamens.
Team redeployed! In position!
Second Platoon's medium machine gun commences suppressing fire. As the squads move to assault.
Move completed!
Nailed him!
The Panzer crew are all eliminated.
In position.
German mortar half-track located, and the American mortar receives a counterfire mission.
Move completed.
The two-story building is cleared for the bazooka teams to move up. Two panzers behind the building.
Unteroffizier!
Mission accomplished, second platoon withdraws to cover behind a smoke screen. 2-4 is in position. One 4 moves up. The bazookas now start the panzer hunt. There are still German infantry in the woods, but they seem suppressed for now.
In position.
2-4 is first.
In position.
Panzer 4 destroyed. 2-4 goes to ground. 1-4 is next. The Panzer leader is immobilized. One 4 fires and hits. Fires again. And 2-4 fires the winning shot. All panzers destroyed. Total American victory. The battle ended because the Germans' force morale got too low and they were forced to retreat off the map. The Americans gained control of the map and the German battle group was forced to disband. The Americans won the battle because they control a greater number of crucial victory locations than the Germans. The Americans lost 6 killed and 7 wounded. The Germans lost 19 killed, 18 wounded, 3 tanks destroyed, and 1 half-track destroyed. Let's examine the American squads. 1st Platoon headquarters was eliminated at the Chateau, with 1 dead and 4 seriously wounded. 1st Platoon's BAR squad lost 1 dead, 2 wounded. 1 dead in the rifle squad. PFC Van Dyke is awarded the Combat Infantryman's Badge. 2nd Platoon had a comparatively quiet battle. Hansen and Jarrell in 2nd Platoon's Bazooka Squad are each credited with a tank kill and each awarded the Combat Infantryman's Badge. Nielsen, 3rd Platoon's Decorated Commander, is killed, along with Benham, with Youst seriously wounded. Barnes in Madden's 57mm anti-tank gun is credited with another tank kill. Boyle in the mortar is killed, but shares credit with Van Kamp for the half-track kill. So far, the campaign remains a major American victory. The Grant campaign has 13 days remaining. Your defence of the Ardennes is progressing better than your historical counterparts. Over the campaign, cumulative American losses are 266 killed in action, 266 wounded in action, 27 tanks, 2 vehicles, and 14 guns. Cumulative German losses are 643 killed, 580 wounded, 83 tanks, 85 armoured vehicles, and 1 anti-tank gun. So, what did we learn? In previous battles in this sector, I have generally played a defensive battle and waited until tanks entered the killing zone for my anti-tank guns before engaging them. As a result, I have won each battle, but in most cases the enemy have preserved one or more tanks and regrouped for another attack. This time, emboldened by my successes elsewhere and wanting to set the conditions for counterattack along the front, I decided to increase the tempo of this battle and bring Wiltz to a decision. In this battle, I used the bazookas to aggressively hunt and engage the German panzers. Before the bazookas moved forward, 2nd Platoon cleared the area of hostile infantry behind the cover of a smoke screen. As a result, the 2 bazooka squads were able to move up safely, locate and destroy the 2 remaining panzers, and the German battle group was forced to disband. Even in defence, once the main enemy attack has been defeated, an aggressive counterattack can make a big difference to the outcome. Let me know what you think in the comments. Thanks for watching. Please remember to like, comment, subscribe, and donate. And stay tuned for the next episode.